The Eta Aquarids set to light up Australia's pre-dawn skies tomorrow and Thursday. SpaceX and Blue Origin officially win the bids for Artemis, and Hubble spots Comet Atlas breaking up. It's Tuesday, May 5, 2020, day 44 of lockdown here in Australia. Let's talk some science.
Across Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts and YouTube, this is Talking Science with Dr. Brad Tucker and Matt Miller.
Here he is, Dr. Brad Tucker. Happy Quarantine Tuesday.
Yeah, how's it going?
Oh, really good, really good. It's a 4-day weekend for me with all the other stuff that I do in my life, so that's really nice. Here we are talking science instead.
That's right. A good distraction from all the earthly woes.
I can't believe, as I was recording that intro, day 44 of lockdown now. Since we started keeping track of it, I think we might be a day or two out officially, but that is an incredible statistic.
There's a bit of easing going on, which is always good. The end is potentially on the horizon.
In the original script for the intro, I did actually mention that some of the restrictions were easing, but as we saw on the weekend, and what I wanted to put in the intro was because of some idiots, it may take a little bit longer for the rest of the restrictions to lift.
Yeah, look, obviously, I think, people are a bit over isolation, but, it's science and there's a reason you played the long game, and, we can look to past pandemics and see exactly what happens and make those predictions, just like everything in space. So, patience is the key here. Much similar to watching a meteor shower.
Which we will be talking about in the stories of the week. But first of all, let's check some headlines.
Talking Science headlines.
And first up, Brad, China is set to test its new long-range 5B rocket.
Its new rocket to send parts of the space station and their human space flight. It's been in development, and they've been rolling it out to essentially the launch pad to get ready for a first test of not really carrying anything, but extra weight to show that it can carry the necessary requirements that they intend to do. So, China ramping up their activity.
And Starlink is deploying some more new modifications to try and help reduce light pollution. Their first attempt wasn't very successful. Let's hope this one is.
It is. And I think the biggest thing to note is, they are trying, they are listening, they are working with the astronomers and projects directly interfered. And as we've always said, it's not just good just blasting someone and saying, oh, it's bad and pinning them down. Work with them to make it mutually beneficial. And that is what's happening here. You don't get always right on the first try, but you don't give up either.
Talking Science, stories of the week.
And our stories of the week, which play in full on Wednesdays, Thursdays and Fridays, and in the uncut edition live on Saturdays. But Brad, never fear, you're just with me on Tuesday morning to record it all and put it all together. The first story for us is the Eta Aquarid meteor shower, which will be happening, as you say, tonight and Wednesday night. I like to say, because the best time to view it is pre-dawn. So it's happening tomorrow morning and Thursday morning. What exactly are the Eta Aquarids?
So the Eta Aquarids, it's an annual meteor shower, and it's always usually one of the good ones we have in the Southern Hemisphere. And this year, the conditions are right to have a pretty good show when we all need something to go out and look that is not Netflix.
And the best part about this is that being meteors, they're going to be burning up in the Earth's atmosphere, which means they're going to be pretty bright. You don't have to go anywhere. Just jump out into the backyard.
Yeah, this is always the good thing, is it can be seen from anywhere. All in the entire Southern Hemisphere. Bits of the Northern Hemisphere will see it. Best viewed a little bit north, so parts in the northern part of Australia will have slightly better views in the southern part. And, if you're in a good dark spot, you can see 20, 25 per hour. So it really is a good meteor shower. Even in the cities, we're still talking about 10, 15 per hour. So one every couple of minutes. So instead of waiting for, a single shooting star, maybe once in a night or a week, you can see multiple here in a couple hours.
Alrighty, Brad, it's time to talk Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, but not what they're doing or not doing, saying or not saying. It's rather about their space companies, SpaceX and Blue Origin. They've officially been awarded the contracts for NASA's Artemis missions. This was sort of just the official signing of the piece of paper, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've been itching close that we knew NASA, through talking about it, that they were going to work with a private company to develop their lander, the lunar lander. We talked about when Blue Moon, which is Blue Origin's lunar lander, was slightly unveiled as the early prototype. But what they have officially announced is, yes, here are the contracts, and now here's where the work begins. There's 3 companies vying to win ultimately the design over to be that official lander, really only the second vehicle that would land people on the moon, and the first built by a private company. So a very big thing, big stakes, and something interesting to see, but confirms what we've been talking about and knowing would happen.
Alrighty, well, the Hubble Space Telescope has captured a comet Atlas breaking up. I get the impression, Brad, that Hubble doesn't want us to forget about it. It's the 3rd week in a row it's been in our story. It's been in a starring role on our show.
Yeah, it really has. We were just talking about the 30th anniversary, and it does keep making discoveries, and that's because it is powerful to see these sorts of things. And comets, as we're talking about the meteor shower, they're fairly small. They're not big, the nucleus. It's only a couple of kilometers. And we do know they eventually melt and break up. We see this in the tails, and we do know they fragment. But to actually see the process of them breaking apart, the nucleus breaking apart, requires a big telescope with clear images. And that's, again, once was turned to as the Hubble to spot this cosmic breakup.
Now, Comet Atlas, I believe we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? That we were hopeful that we were going to see it by the naked eye.
Yeah, it was becoming a very bright comet. So essentially, as it gets near the sun, especially for comets that make their first trip in their solar system, so periodic comets like Halley's have most of their outside, melted, and so it's just kind of layers coming off. If you're a comet that's coming into the solar system for the first time, what we call the non-periodic comets, they have a bunch of stuff that is going to melt. And so sometimes a little bit melts, sometimes a lot, but sometimes too much, where it melts too much, and like an ice cube, it breaks apart. And that's what happened in this case. It was coming in, it was brightening really quickly. People were hopeful, and some people were starting to spot it definitely with small telescopes, but binoculars and almost a naked eye. But apparently too much of it, and it wasn't held together too tightly to withstand the solar wind and pressure, causing it to break up, and it's disintegrated in space.
Fantastic, Brad. Well, it is fun to pick apart the stories of the week with you. People can find you on social media at btucker22 on Twitter, Dr. Brad Tucker on Facebook, where your educational live streams are continuing. What's coming up next?
We have one today on the future of space travel and space technology. And in the next couple of weeks, I'll be producing a couple recorded videos for activities and demos you can do at home with the kids, building a little simple camera where you can actually measure the size of the sun and the moon. So things like that. And then we'll be talking supernova and dark energy later this month.
And of course, if people missed the live stream of that, the recordings and the replays are available with links on your Facebook page as well, which is very, very cool. It is a fun little project taking on a whole new meaning of astronomical learning in lockdown.
That's right, boldly going where no black hole's gone before. So stay tuned.
Fantastic. And of course, you can find Trekzone all across social media. Just search for Trekzone. Podcasting as well. Search for Trekzone. You'll see us. Subscribe, like, follow, do all that sort of stuff, because it makes me feel good on the inside. Makes me feel like I'm doing something for something. Brad, thanks for talking science. We'll do it again next week.
Take care.